Story 1. Husband track wife's vehicle with GPS and noticed she was going to a spots and parking for hours. I'm new to this thread. I found out 2 months ago my wife of 10 years stepped out of our marriage with a married friend of ours. We go camping a lot with our kids and a few different groups of friends. We were going camping for my birthday this weekend. During this camp trip, one of our friends who is married made a move on my wife and kissed her. I didn't know about it due to another event where one of our friends died in front of us during this same trip while riding quads. I noticed my wife acting differently and confronted her, and she told me nothing had happened. Over the next month, she started acting odd and going to places she didn't usually go. I then started to track our vehicle with the app and noticed she was going to spots and parking for hours. I continued to confront her and she made me feel crazy. Finally, after a month, I found a little proof and confronted her, and she told me she was talking to someone. As the next 2 weeks unfolded, she told me everything, that they were meeting up and had kissed. I pressed harder, and she finally told me they did everything except have sex. She promised she would stop talking to him, but I found out they talked again 2 weeks after I found out and sent SXY pictures. After that, I left and gave her space. I guess then she releases what she wanted. She stopped communication and promised me everything was done. Since then, they haven't had any contact that I know of. She claims she loves me and only wants me. She says she was selfish during a time of depression, which made her step out. She also blames me as another reason, telling me I didn't give her space when she needed it, which was asked during the affair, which lasted for 1 month. I'm having such a tough time trusting her, loving her again, and seeing her in the same light I used to. I'm looking for guidance from other survivors who tried to make it work. Is it possible to make it work after she cheated? What methods have others used to eliminate the pain or the heartache? How have you begun to trust again? Would you stay in this situation and give it a second chance if the marriage was good up until now? I have been on such an emotional roller coaster and have fallen into a depressed state. I've started therapy, meditation, working out, and other self-care to improve my mental health. I know it takes time, but I could use any help and support. Reader comment: adults usually don't do everything but sex. They probably F multiple times. This is in no way your fault for not giving her space. EFF that. Definitely tell the other spouse. Original poster: I confronted her so many times on the SX, and she swears and swears that she didn't and wouldn't do that. I still have a really hard time believing it myself, but I have zero proof otherwise. I told the other spouse the same night I found out, but I haven't talked to her since I found out all of the other things they did, and I'm guessing he didn't tell her anything further than it was an emotional affair, and they kissed. Reader comment: the real question. Why did that friends think it was okay to initiate the first kiss while camping? What signals was she giving off? Obviously, it wasn't a shot in the dark for him if it turned into an actual affair. I imagine they were flirty and touchy-feely for a long time leading up to that first incident. Those things don't just happen out of nowhere. Also, I call BS on the no SX thing. But let's just say that's true. She said they did everything except SX, right? This giving BJ is really any better. In my opinion, that's worse. For obvious reasons I don't need to specify. But the biggest problem here is that she was willing to cheat with a friend of the family, someone to know personally and intimately. She was willing to blowing up your entire friend group. She made it so you can't trust any of your friends. And I'm sure the other wives want to keep their husbands away from her, right? If you can't trust her with your friends, can you trust her with people you don't know or barely know? Her work colleagues, your kid's little league coach, your kid's friends' dads, some random dude at the bar on girls' night out. And to salt the wound, she's blaming you for her affair, in part, because you didn't give her space while she was in the midst of her affair. Is she generally an illogical person? If I were you, I'd ask her to move out for a while and go LC except for the kids. Give her real palatable consequences, otherwise she won't respect you. In her mind, when she's feeling depressed she can bang your friends and you'll just take her back. Tell her to move out and that you're strongly considering divorce and you want space from her while you figure your feelings out. Whatever you do, do not rug sweep and do not take a single iota of blame for this. Story 2. Wife cheated and moved in with a guy she met 3 weeks ago at work. Wife got a job November 14th. Told me she was leaving December 6th. She had absolutely no contact with this crowd before. We kept to each other all the time and had all the same friends from church. They could only talk at work. Not sure how, but apparently they're very in love with each other. Lots of I love you more than anything texts. Lots of dirty pics as well. She's moved out, had SX, started doing drugs with him, and I've filed for divorce since. I caught her getting dropped off by this guy one night after I was suspicious of the way she had been acting and asked to have the phone I pay for back since she just plain wouldn't reply to anyone for days. She gave it to me and unlocked it. I saw all her coworkers were helping her cheat on me by taking shifts for her so she could go to his house. We're young, but I'm not dumb. However, nobody saw this coming. Out of the 40 people we know and know us intimately, nobody expected this. Even our couples counselor was in shock with it all. Our last conversation ended with her bringing up and laughing about childhood sexual traumas I had been through. We dated for 2.5 years, had been married for 4 months when she first slept with him. She has made it a point to call me daily or every other day with ridiculous questions like, do I have any dresses at your place still? And even did so Christmas morning. Not to mention she's been stalking my social media accounts. What the F kind of sense does this make? Will it last? Why is she being so extremely hurtful? I truly don't deserve it. Update: she's been to the ER twice in the past week for various pains and injuries. Docs gave her the good stuff on IV and prescribed her meds they couldn't say. She's using my insurance. Reader comment: damn, some people can barely be called humans. End the divorce, no contact, and be happy you found out now, not later. Original poster, working on the divorce stuff. She called me saying that she thinks all the paperwork I gave her is fishy. She isn't exactly intelligent or educated. If only you knew all the details in SHT, she's done. Reader comment: you don't have to get specific, but was the honeymoon incident something intimacy related? Or was it more of a thing where she got sloppy drunk and embarrassed the crap out of you? Or did she verbally or physically abuse you? And was she doing better with that issue? Original poster, previously agreed upon bedroom boundaries being broken. Manipulating me to do things I didn't really want to do and not being okay with me saying no. Not to mention she was an absolute P to the entire time. I lived on eggshells for a week. The issue, as far as I could tell, had gotten better. It didn't happen again. Reader comment: my ex-husband cheated on me with a meth addict who had no teeth and an extensive and violent criminal record. When a cheater cheats, there's no accounting for taste. Original poster, that's quite the classy choice. This guy isn't too far off. People don't make sense. I've been on all the drugs and addicted to a few in my old life. Nothing I ever experienced made me sink to that level, even while being on hard drugs daily for a year. I'm sorry for your situation as well. Reader comment: I thought you said, if you only knew all the details in SHT, she's done. Was that statement regarding your whole relationship or just since the cheating? Original poster, both, sorta. She had me fooled until I put a ring on it. She started getting really comfortable with crossing boundaries and I chalked it up to her not knowing any better. I was her first serious relationship. There are a lot of little things that when analyzed as they happened weren't necessarily red flags, but looking back at the pattern of it all was very revealing now. She's not holding anything back. It's brutal. Story 3. Forced to reconcile with cheating wife. TLDR of what my life has come to: my wife cheated. Before the cheating happened, I made the most stupid decision of my life by gifting to my wife and making her the sole owner of all my ancestral property that I fought my entire life to get back. Now I cannot divorce without giving her at least half of it. This land is everything to me. I will rather give my life than give it up, especially not with my cheater wife right next door for the rest of my life. And she knows it. I am already contacting a lawyer and readying paperwork, and she has told me that she will return all my land to me without question if I promise to stay with her and try to work it out while the legal work is being done and processed. And the process is lengthy. It can take anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months. She says she'll sign as soon as everything is ready, but from my lawyer, I got to know that all this while if she makes even a little complaint that I am coercing or forcing her to sign, I might lose out on all of my property forever. I do think she is way too smart, and there's no way in hell she's going to just give away almost $1 million worth of property in her name to me. She will play dirty and do something to trap me. At this point, I'm just playing all my cards and see what sticks. My wife has asked to try for a few months at least, and I can't say no to her. So, I'm stuck with her in this house. She goes to her therapist every day, spends hours upon hours there doing only God knows what. She told me that she will change herself completely and become a better human being. She keeps trying to convince me to install some family safety app that I can use to track her location, even though I've told her a million times I don't need that. She feeds me weird narratives about her cheating, like she cheated because of some sexual trauma or whatever that I don't understand the logic of. But I can't really say anything to her as of now, so I don't comment a lot on that. Just let her do her thing until the paperwork is done and then we'll see. I hate being around her. I hate being in same rooms with her. The fact that I am breathing in the same air as she makes me nauseous. I want nothing more than to run away from this godforsaken existence. I already sleep in a different room, and I already changed most of my furniture and household items. Even going out in public alone makes me feel embarrassment, as if everyone knows about it, and is laughing behind my back. Eating food made by her made me vomit midway, so I was eating from restaurants. Yesterday I just bought a new induction cooktop and told her I'll cook my own food from now on, and she cried so much I could swear she would have died. I hate having to deal with her BS crying and apologizing and these obvious attempts at making me feel sorry and pity towards her. What can I do to find some peace in this situation? I try to be out of that house as much as I can with different excuses like going for job interviews or meeting with friends. I doubt there is anyone unfortunate and stupid enough as me to be stuck in a situation like this. But I bet there are people who have been forced and manipulated to reconcile with their cheaters. How can I cope with these feelings of worthlessness, emasculation, and embarrassment while also simultaneously dealing with and facing someone whose very sight makes me sick? Reader comment, you spent your entire life fighting for this land. So, what's a few more months to suck it up and play nice with your wife? I'm not at all suggesting you reconcile. What I am suggesting is that you do whatever needs to be done to make sure your wife signs the land back over to you and it will remain yours. If that means pretending to reconcile with your wife, then so be it. Because that is really your only option here. You already made one incredibly bad decision by gifting a piece of property to her that was apparently quite important to you. Don't make another stupid decision by letting your ego get in the way of getting that land back. Original poster, yeah. Planning on doing that, but I don't even know if I can do this. Every day in this house is so emotionally taxing I can't begin to describe it. These 6 months are going to be a nightmare. Just wanted to talk to someone who's done this, make pretend reconciliation with their cheaters and managed to get what they wanted. Because it just seems an impossible task. I feel so alone right now. Reader comment, changing herself to become a better human being, That probably starts by foregoing the idea of blackmailing someone, so I don't have a lot of faith in her. But congratulations, your marriage is officially now an open one. I can understand why you need to stay, but she doesn't deserve any loyalty from you going forward. You should feel free to see other people. Reader comment, sorry buddy, there's no way that she gives you $1 million worth of assets just for a few months of reconciliation. It's just bait to keep you hanging on. Your ancestral land may have significance to you, but to others that don't have any attachment, then they've just won on a scratch card once they've cashed it in. However, she may be as good as her word. The next 6 months will be hard, but try to see it as a job that you absolutely hate but pays well. Heck, if someone offered to make me a millionaire for cleaning the toilets in the Ebola ward for between 3 weeks and 6 months, then I'd jump at the chance. What I wouldn't do is spend the next 6 months proving to her that she has every reason to never sign over the assets. You could try turning it round. Explain that you are both hurting. Maybe you both need time to heal as individuals. Say the next 6 or so months. Once you have the land back in your possession, then you will take this act of good faith as a sign of her sincerity and attempt to I'd have a word with your lawyer though. Typically, gifts have strings. You can't just give your mate all your assets, sue for divorce claiming to be a hobo, and then take them all back afterwards. If she gifts them back to you and then you divorce, then there may well be a cooling off period before they are truly considered yours. I'm not sure that what she's offering you in gifting them back is as clear as it seems. A gift that you can take back is no gift at all. Reader comment, so, do you have your doctorate now? Sorry, the first post wasn't clear if you finished that. You have put a lot of effort into getting your life to this point. Your wife is going to be a backup character. She is humiliated and so are you by her actions. You aren't having sex with her, you are cooking your own food. What are you doing together that you can't tolerate? You should be sleeping in separate beds, I imagine. Maybe try this out. Write out what you are most mad about and trace those back to the source. Keeping writing until you get to the source of your discomfort. It will help you rationalize this one bit at a time. It also will give your wife an understanding of where your anger lies most. Writing out your rage is a good way to move past it.